Hey, how do I comb my hair without water and conditioner? Well, the truth is, you should never allow your hair to get like this. It should never be this tangled to the point where you cannot comb it. The truth of the matter is, your patterns and your routines need to change. They must change. So, I'll play the villain role. Let's have this unpopular conversation. These videos that you're watching now are 6 years old, okay? Today is August 28th, 2024, and the thing is, I have been retired for about 6 going on 7 years now. All right, so this comment is the one that encouraged this conversation. This is a 7-day challenge member, but she used to be one of the people that also was always trying to debunk me, always, watching certain videos that were like, she's lying, she's making things up, this is fake science. And the thing is, when you really sit down and learn for yourself, then the pieces fit easily. I'm not making anything up. I'm not trying to get you to believe anything that I made up. I'm teaching you what I've spent thousands upon thousands of dollars to learn. I still have student loans right now, right? So let's break this down, because some people would say, oh my God, you're damaging her hair. Well, let's break it down, right? The human hair shaft, because I am a specialist in that area. So what you are watching right now is a slowly zooming in perspective of the human hair shaft, and the closer we get, the closer you are going to get to each individual strand, right? Because we look at hair at face value. You slap products on it, but you don't really pay attention to the actual inner workings of your hair shaft. So imagine a broken end. This is what the broken end looks like, and that is the cortex that you're looking at the bottom exposed. But this is the cuticle layer, right? The cuticle layer of the hair shaft is what is protecting your cortex. And as a licensed cosmetologist, right, with my specialty in silk presses, right, I know how to master products and my tools to be able to smooth the hair's cuticle in a way that will not damage the cortex, but only protect it, right? And if I sound like a little irritated, I'm not. I'm just a really passionate person. What you're looking at on the screen is just proof that I've been doing this for a really long time. 4 years ago, I was talking about rice water, and I was all types of bees, and everybody had all negative things to say. The comment on top is somebody who's like, oh, I deleted my comment, I cussed you out, sorry. But then one on the bottom is one that didn't get around to deleting the comment yet. So as you can see, everything comes around full circle, right? Everybody who wants, well, not everybody, but the majority of the women who used to, always want to argue with me, like she doesn't know what she's talking about, years later, when the hair weathering and the hair miniaturization appears, then they all come back like, oh my God, see, you were right, my bad, I'm sorry. Don't let it be you. Right? Don't let that be you. You don't have to start that way. You know why? I am not a regular channel. I am not a commentary channel that is making emotional based content. No, this is a channel where we have scientific conversations, and you come here to begin your informational journey, but it does not end here, right? So at this point, her hair has already been detoxed, right? We had to detox her scalp and her hair shaft because she is coming from the Team Natural community. The reason that I'm always Team Natural this, Team Natural that is because I have been doing this for a very long time, all right, for well over a decade, and client after client after client after client that sat in my chair coming from the Team Natural community all had the same exact hair shaft disorders. They all had the same exact type of follicle disorders, depending on what stage of the hair follicle or hair shaft miniaturization process they were on, right? And they were not just there for me to do their hair. I was there as their trichologist and their cosmetologist, really breaking things down for them and giving them a brand new regimen, right? They understood before they got there, because we had a consultation first. They understood that they would have to have a completely different regimen, and that they could not put, right, their old wine in these new bottles that I am going to give them. So these are things that I want y'all to understand. If you've came over here to my channel from another commentary channel that makes commentary on other people, when you came over here with rage, please leave or don't make the comment. Just, even if you don't like me, don't make the comment, because I'm gonna block you immediately. I just cannot sit in that energy anymore. Like you guys just saw, it's been going on for years. I'm over it. I am here for the women who are in a space where they have an open mind, ready to listen, ready to hear, right? And when I say listen, I don't mean listen to me, do what I say. I mean, no, get a pen and paper out. When I say things, go on a medical journal and go look up the research, right? Everything that I say, every video that I make, there is a blog post attached to it. And in that blog post, there is a written version of everything that I'm saying, so you can copy and paste, go fact check me. And I always add an article from a reputable medical journal. Always. And if you haven't seen it, it's because you haven't went to look for it properly, right? So as we are going through, and as I'm straightening her hair, remember I already broke down the human hair shaft, the cuticle to you. Her cuticle is protected. She is not going to get heat damage in any way, shape, or form. I am not giving her further damage by adding heat to her hair. There is a science to the human hair shaft. It is not just what you see at face value. But I do want you guys to notice how her ends look. Even though I'm straightening her hair, right? Even though I'm getting her hair straight, her ends still look really, really frizzy. This is a hair shaft disorder. And this is what I really need you guys to understand. Some of you are like, oh my God, I'll straighten my hair over and over again no matter what I do, but it's still puffy at the ends. Well, if you have splits and holes in your cuticle and they're all raised, what you will find is that your hair shaft, even when it's all straightened, it'll still be lifted, right? So this is when it becomes really, really vitally important for you to really, really keep up with your hair regimens, because even though Team Natural seemed like it was a good thing, it was like, oh, encouraging, I'm a black woman, my hair is curly, and I have to use all of these products. I want you guys to understand that products and the obsession with hair products, right? The layering, the piling on hair products, the suffocation of all of those different layers of the hair's cuticle that I just showed you is what leads to the hair follicle disorders and the hair shaft disorders. I need you to understand that the cuticle opens to receive hydration, water from the environment, and oxygen. So if you are putting products that seal the hair shaft on, you block the hair's ability to receive hydration from the environment. This is why the porosity of the hair is so important. And this is why have you guys ever straightened your hair, right? And then put a little bit of oil on it and then it turns into a stringy mess? Well, that's because you do not put oil on a silk press ever. You use a serum. There's a difference between an oil and a serum. They have two completely different molecular weights, right? So this is why it's so vitally important for you guys to know the science of hair. And I think the problem that I see a lot in my comments, like when it comes to oil, people be like, oh, well, I watched this video and you said you could use essential oils like this, but then in this video you said don't use oils at all. I'm so confused. Well, the reason that you're confused is because everybody's been following YouTubers, and YouTubers have made you guys believe that you can watch one video and learn everything in the field of cosmetology, and it doesn't work like that. Hair care is a holistic practice. Every product on the shelf in the beauty supply store has a purpose. Oils, am I saying never go anywhere near oil ever in life? No, because I have videos on my channel with oil in my hand, but it has a purpose. What am I using oil for? And the way that Black women use oil today and the way that it is supposed to be used are two completely different things. When you use an oil, you're supposed to use less, really like a dime size of an amount, and emulsify it in your hands, even though you don't have to really emulsify oil, but I'm meaning to say like spread it on your hands, and then put a little bit on the ends, mid shaft to ends. And this is before certain styles. You're not doing that before you flat iron your hair. Absolutely not. You're going to weigh your hair down. You use a serum for that. You would put oil like that on your hair, let's say before you braid it, right? Before you get your hair braided. Why? Because oil is a sealant, right? So right before you put braids in your hair, it'll give you a little bit of ease mentally to know like, okay, I'm gonna make my hair a little easier to braid. I'm not putting oil on my client's hair because her hair needs oil, because I know that sebum is gonna come out of her scalp and do that for her. I'm doing that so as I'm braiding her hair, as I'm doing whatever this protective style is, her hair isn't snagging, breaking, ripping, or tearing, right? Oil is a tool that I use to help me avoid mechanical damage through the process of styling my client's hair. It's not, oh, we just need oil. The other thing that I kept saying is like, oh, Indian women, they use oil to grow their hair. They're not using oil to grow their hair. They use the oils as carriers for other essential oils. And I need you to keep in mind that a woman who only washes her hair once every couple of weeks, once every couple of months, cannot compare herself or her practices to a woman who washes her hair every day. It makes no sense. So we really need to get out of this mental mind frame where we always want to argue and debate, because bringing up the fact that Indian women oil their hair isn't proof of any scientific fact. You like to argue, so that is a point that you make in your argument. Because they use oil in their hair. Yes, absolutely they do, and their culture is absolutely beautiful. And culturally, right, they have this for self-care practices. Again, they also allow it to bring in certain nutrients, but understand that they use non-comedogenic oils, and even if they use a comedogenic oil, they wash it out immediately with a shampoo that can really remove it. But I also need you to keep in mind that Indian women get alopecia too. I have a lot of clients who are Indian women, or clients who are not Black in any way, shape, or form, not mixed with anything. They get different forms of alopecia. They get CCCA. They get traction alopecia. All of these different things, right? And when you sit down, their practices also include oils and tight styles and things of that nature. They stop it and it reverses itself. So these are the things that I need you to think about. Absolutely, yes, Indian women put oil in their hair too. And guess what? Indian women get alopecia too. Indian women start getting thin hair too. These are things that I need you guys to pay attention to. Hair is a holistic practice. And through a holistic practice, you have to learn every piece. You can't just pick and choose which pieces from different cultures you want to take, right? Because if everybody's greasing their scalp and we're following Indian women now, then we also need to adopt their hygiene practices. How often are they washing their hair? They're actually not leaving their hair just wet, just sitting on their hair. So you can't just pick and choose which practice you want to use from a culture. Those women do not have hair to their butts because they're putting oil on their hair. Absolutely not. That's not a thing. So I need everybody to understand these things are all meant to be used in moderation for very specific purposes. Just like putting oil on the scalp. The only time you should be putting oil on the scalp is if you're trying to cure some type of follicle infection. If you go to the dermatologist, most likely after a skin biopsy, they're going to give you what feels like an oil. Sometimes it is a carrier oil, and sometimes it's a glycerin. It's a glycerin based carrier, right? Because they have to carry the medicine to the follicle, and oils are meant to do that. So when we're talking about Indian women putting oil on their hair, when we're talking about oil on the scalp, when we're talking about videos that I make, when I'm talking about oil on the scalp, I'm talking about using it as a carrier oil with an essential oil in it to open a pore, to open a follicle, to heal a disorder. And once that disorder is healed, you are going to stop. You're going to put a halt on using that product, because you'll go from one form of inflammation to another form of inflammation. These are the things that I need us to understand, and it's the same thing for conditioner, right? So at this point, we've removed the majority of her breakage, right? She has a certain pattern and routine, and because of the way that I prepared her cuticle, right, to avoid the heat damage or any other type of damage, right, her hair shaft is going to be able to really be able to adjust itself. A little couple of pieces still have a hair shaft disorder, but let's move into the conditioner that got her here. This is how conditioner is made, and I want y'all to pay attention. That's wax, right? And water. Just wax, conditioning wax, and water. Just wax. Don't even say conditioning wax. Wax. Then once it's melted, it's stirred in, and she's going to keep mixing it up. And I want y'all to pay attention. This is the formation. This is like the creamy feel that you feel. Has nothing to do with oils. Nothing. This is the creamy feel, the conditioner, the slip that you're talking about. Look at the small amount of shea butter that she put in. Y'all put more shea butter than that in y'all head for one styling. So these are the different oils. When you see coconut oil and stuff like that on the product, that is the small, minute amount of it that they're using. It is the smallest amount. But y'all will put half of the bottle in y'all head, but this is the very small, minute amount of oil that are in your favorite shampoos and conditioners. Your favorite shampoos and conditioners are not full of oils. Like, they're not. These are the things that I need you to understand. You should be using a very, very small, minute amount of oil in your hair. You're never supposed to have globs and globs of it in your hair. You're not. There is nothing in conditioner that is just, oh my God, it's so much oil. No, this is how conditioners are made. And it is through using just a couple of drops of certain additives that are really, really powerful, that actually do give certain conditioners their strength. But look at how many bottles were made from just that little bit. Yeah. So this is another client. Don't get mad. This is my boo. We already had this talk. This is how most of my Team Natural clients would come in. I love y'all, but when people ask questions like, Sia, how do I detangle my hair without conditioner? You should never allow your hair to look this way. Y'all, if you're combing your hair every day, how does it look like this? I love you all. I'm a black woman too. I have curly hair too. This is not the channel for you if you're sensitive. It's not. The truth of the matter is, we need to change our routines and patterns. It is not okay that the majority of us, if you take off your wig, if you take off your bonnet, that's how your hair looks underneath. That's not okay. That is the difference between somebody being able to have hair down their back and somebody having hair down their back that's see-through or damaged, or somebody just not being able to retain length at all. It's not that black women's hair won't grow. It's that black women can't retain length due to their practices. There's a difference. And a lot of women are not going to want to hear this, because the thing is, some people are like, oh my God, I don't like her, she's mean. It's not that. That's not what it is. It's not that I mean. What it is what I'm saying doesn't feel good. Like when you have to make certain changes, or when you're told that you're wrong, or when you're told that certain patterns need adjustment, it's uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. Learning some stuff that you don't know nothing about is uncomfortable. But is it combative? Am I coming from a place where I'm trying to attack you, where I'm trying to tell you that you're stupid, where I'm trying to tell you that you're dumb? No, I'm not. Are the decisions that you're making dumb? Yes. And this is why they're dumb, because most of the time, most people have heard people like me say the things that I'm saying before. I'm not the only one. I may be the only cosmetologist that is online talking about it, one of the only ones talking about it, but so many cosmetologists feel this way. Let's break down chemicals, right? And perms.
Hair's outer cuticle surrounds hair cells filled with tough keratin macrofibrils. Each macrofibril consists of smaller microfibrils. A microfibril is made up of 3 keratin polypeptide chains. The chains are linked together by disulfide bonds. A hair consists of keratin chains held together by disulfide bridges. For a permanent wave, hair is exposed to chemicals that break the disulfide bonds. When hair is wrapped around curlers, the polypeptide chains are held in new positions. The hair is next treated with a chemical that causes the formation of new sulfide bridges. These bridges lock the hair in a curled position.
What was just explained to you was how you get a perm. Women with naturally curly hair relax to go straighter, right? But women with naturally straight hair get perms to go curly. People actually do perms more than black women do relaxers, but for whatever reason, the only market that is targeted when it comes to chemicals and all of this stuff is relaxers. Why is that? It's because black women are the most baitable women. If I rage bait a black woman and say, this is why your hair isn't growing, this is why, then everybody's gonna run to it. But what if black women start taking accountability, saying, you know what, no, I'm not going to go buy that product. I'm just going to change my patterns and routines, and I'll be able to fix my hair myself. What if you say, wait a minute, I'm not going to go spend $400 on a blow dryer that was made by somebody who came up with the idea because she was a white lady who decided she was going to use the hose on the vacuum cleaner to blow dry her kids' hair. And now I'm going to use this on my hair because I'm a black woman and this is the only way I can blow dry my hair. Like, we wouldn't fall for certain things. We wouldn't drench our hair in oil if black women knew the science of the human body. You would not be rage baited, or nobody would be able to lie to you and say, oh, you a black woman. God didn't make a sebaceous gland in you. Your hair is naturally dry, so you don't have sebum in your scalp. You need all of these oils. Because y'all have to understand, y'all have been rage baited into being in a continuous cycle of dependence. Right? You will always be independent. My gurus, I call them gurus because they are not dependent on me or anybody else. If anything goes wrong in their head, they can fix it because they know the science of their hair. Right? Period. It doesn't matter. If they go to a cosmetologist that don't really know what she's doing, their signs go off. They know what to do. But when you don't know, you fall for anything. And that's why there's so much scalp inflammation, because black women are under the impression that our hair doesn't produce oil and that we need all of these oils, right? But all of the doctors, everybody else higher up, they know the truth. They know that these oils are going to cause inflammation. And y'all not gonna listen because y'all believe the lie. And they not gonna stop you from doing it. You know why? Because the more oils you buy, the more they make money, because they're selling you the oil, right? And then there's another person in line, because once you have the scalp inflammation, you're gonna go to other products that are gonna try to fix that scalp inflammation, right? Because most people that have oils also have something to fix itchy scalp. Listen, they got stuff to fix itchy scalp, stuff to fix and calm the inflammation that they cause with their products, but they know that you don't know that because you're not listening to people like me, so they know that you don't know. and they know that you don't care, you'll fight to stay in it, right? And then once you've done that for so many years, right, and then you've went and used product after product after product after product trying to heal the things that you've caused, then you go to the dermatologist, right? And it's not over then, because after you go to the dermatologist, you now have to constantly pay for a prescription to fix something that you caused early on. And guess what? They also know that you're still not going to listen. You're still not going to stop. So it's a continuous cycle. When I'm making videos, I'm making them because I work hand in hand with multiple dermatologists, and they want to do other things. Okay, all dermatologists did not go to school to constantly help Black women fight follicle infections from greasing the scalp. Like, there's so many other things to do in the field of dermatology. So I need you guys to understand that it is your habits, your patterns, and your routines that end up keeping you in these patterns. And straightening your hair is not damaging unless you do it wrong. If you're at home doing it yourself and you don't know what you're doing, you don't know anything about the human hair shaft, how to protect it properly before you straighten your hair, you don't know any of these things, absolutely you're going to damage your hair. If I didn't know what I know when I was doing my clients, I would have damaged their hair. These are things that I want people to understand, right? And it's something that women really don't want to talk about. It's something that a lot of women don't want to understand. So for me, a lot of times I just put the information out there and people can take it or leave it. But like I said earlier, I'm at a place where now I don't care if whether or not you agree with me. You don't have to agree with me. You don't. But, you know, you also don't have to leave a I have a dream speech in my comments either. You also don't have to be argumentative or combative. I hate olives, and when I come across videos that say, oh my God, olives are the best in the world, I'm not going to go in the comments to be like, you stupid, I don't like you, don't listen to her, don't listen to him, he don't know nothing about food, olives are disgusting. What? No, I'm not gonna comment. Guess what? I'm not even gonna click on the video because I don't like olives. They look like baby roaches with no legs and no whiskers. Oh my God. So this is the thing that I want most women to understand. When I do what I do, I am coming from a place of love. I am coming from a place that's trying to prevent you from being where the majority of my clients used to be. Right? As you can see, these are two different women, same exact situation, right? Her hair shaft disorder was a little different from hers, but hers had also, both of their hair shaft disorder had traveled all the way up the hair shaft. So all I could do was like a little bob with some layers to get as much off as I could. But it was something that she had to keep coming back for gradually. So every 2 to 3 weeks, she was back in, same thing. And we look at that, like I can't even get the comb through her head. That's all broken ends. And the thing is, if your hair is like that, you have a hair shaft disorder too. And these are things that I need everybody to remember. These are things that I need everybody to keep in mind. I just paused because my dog just ran down the stairs. So these are things that I want everybody to remember. These are things that I want everybody to think about and keep in mind, all right? Because at the end of the day, things are very, very simple. Things are very, very simplistic. But if you constantly pile on product after product after product, if you're constantly combing your hair wet, if you're constantly following all of these team natural practices, if you're not combing your hair on a regular basis, your hair is going to be damaged. Everybody's hair grows, but everybody doesn't retain length. Sometimes I tell my clients, especially if they have a lighter hair color, right? I would tell them to like color their hair, right? But like do like a rinse, like a semi-permanent or a demi-permanent, right? A darker color, just so you can see, well, I lied, not semi-permanent or demi-permanent, like a permanent hair color, if you're okay with that, like a black or whatever. Just so you can see how fast your hair is growing. When you see the difference in color from your roots to the rest of your hair, right, you can see how fast the hair is growing. So the thing is this, it's not that the hair isn't growing. You can clearly see hair coming out of the follicle. So that's not the problem. The problem is that whatever the hair practices are, it prevents you from holding on to the hair at the end. When you are combing your hair and you see those globs of hair in your brush, that is the hair that was supposed to be in your head. These are the things that I need y'all to think about. Just think about it. You don't have to take my word for it. But what I do want you to do is think about it. Do the research for yourself and really ask yourself why all of the people that are constantly making debunking videos, why do they want to debunk the science so bad? All I'm saying is stop layering products on your hair. Set your bonds either with the blow dryer, with the roller set, with the flexi rod set, with the perm rod set, something. Set the bonds. Don't just leave your hair on your head. I know the whole twist out wash and go phase was cute. That was nice. But we can do more than that. And in my video coming up soon, I'm going to give you guys just a glimpse inside of some of the women inside the 7-day challenge. It's so precious to me. I have so many reviews from them, so many of them who are doing their perm rod sets and their flexi rod sets, and they're coming out perfect. Like, oh my god, like so good. They could be my assistants. They could start doing perm rod sets on the side for the low, or not even for the low, whatever price they want to put, you know. But these are things that I want y'all to think about though, because everybody has everyone under the impression like, oh, if you're a black woman, the only thing you can do to your hair is wash it and put a couple products in it and go outside. Like, just leave it how it's meant to be, sitting on your head. Nobody on the planet does that. I mean, some people on the planet do it, but everybody else in the world, Craig, not just the city but the world, styles their hair. They do something with their hair. I'm not saying, oh, never wear your hair in your it's natural state. Girl, if you want to do that, do it. But to think that doing that and just having your hair sitting on top of your head like hers was when she first came in, and the only time you combing it is when you spray it down with water, or if you're spraying your hair with water every day, y'all, what would happen to a plant if you sprayed it with a water bottle every day? What would happen to a plant if you sprayed it down with water every 2-3 days? What would happen to a plant if you sprayed it with water or put water on it every week? It would die. The roots would rot and the plant would die. The leaves would rot, the stems would rot, and it would die. So why do you think that your hair is any different? Most naturals, well, not naturals, but because your hair is natural if it's growing out of your scalp, right? But most women in the community, in this community, like to say like, oh, our hair is like a plant, it needs water. Well, if your hair is like a plant, you know that it needs to be tamed, right? The weeds need to be pruned, meaning you need to get a trim, and you can only water it but so often, or you'll cause the roots to rot. The equivalent to causing the roots to rot on your hair is causing hydrofatigue. Hydrofatigue is when you wet the hair too much and you cause the follicle to swell and unswell over and over again. So you're right, your hair is like a plant, and if you overwater it, you're gonna cause the roots to rot, and you're gonna cause weathering and hair shaft disorders like my clients did in this video. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and leave me some comments below. Bye.